How's it going, guys and gals? This is Elderville coming back at you with the latest about Path of Exile 2, starting with the return of crafting mechanics and how they differ from Path of Exile 1. Of course, crafting currency will be making its return with some changes. We start from the bottom and work our way up. Transmutation orbs will work exactly the same, turning a basic white item into a magic item. Dropped or obtained from disenchanting magic items. Similarly, however, it adds one modifier with no chance for two like in PoE 1. Augmentation orbs will be add the missing prefix or suffix to the magic item. Regal orbs can then be used to add a third mod, which can be a prefix or suffix, turning the magic item into a rare item. They function exactly the same as they did in PoE 1. They're dropped, or you can obtain them from disenchanting rare items. Orbs of annulment work exactly the same by removing a singular modifier from an item. Exalts can be used to add any missing prefixes or suffixes. They function exactly the same as they did in Path of Exile 1. And Chaos will work in a fashion of adding a random modifier while removing another. I believe these will be used in a fashion early on to get rid of undesirable modifiers and hopefully getting a much better replacement modifier. Doing this early on is the best option, as you have a better odds at 1 to 3 mods rather than 1 to 5 and 1 to 6. In Path of Exile 1, Chaos rerolled the whole item. Quality currencies such as armor scraps or whetstones can be obtained from salvaging items. If you salvage a socketed item, you can get pieces to obtain an artificer's orb, which will allow you to socket items. And finally, the Val orb, which in Path of Exile 2 will have other outcomes such as adding an enchantment, adding an extra socket, past an item's limit, re-rolling half the mods on an item, or nothing, thus ending the work on that specific item, and it's time to start working on another one. These are the known outcomes. I'm not sure if there's more. Of course, there's totally a possibility. I don't know the list of enchantments. They're going to have very basic ones that are going to be like plus to max health and so forth. Another returning item from PoE 1 is going to be essences. They work very similarly, except they just guarantee a specific stat. They no longer roll the entire item. So let's say you had a pair of boots, you throw a speed essence on it and you can get movement speed. After that, you can actually use an essence that will take a magic item and turn it into a rare item and have a second deterministic stat placed onto your item. This covers the basics. Now we're getting into the more complicated stuff. So there's a rework with Omens, which are from Ritual, and that's where you'd be obtaining them for metacrafting. So these Omens will work in a way that modify the basic currency to function in a specific way. For instance, using an annul to remove specifically prefixes or suffixes, or using an exalt to add specifically a prefix or a suffix. There are many other things, many other omens, but they did not really cover those. We will have to see them when we come across them in game. Now, speaking of sockets, so sockets can have either ruins, which have basic stats, which increase mana, health, resistance, flat damage, and other stuff, or the more rare soul cores, which can have modifiers that are more impactful, which can be obtained from the Trial Master as a reward during the Trial of Chaos in endgame, such as increasing max spirit, enhancing rarity of drops, increasing crit damage, reducing damage taken, increasing attack speed, reducing the effect of debuffs on your character. As far as sockets go, body armors and two-handed weapons can have up to 2 sockets, and all other armor pieces and one-handed weapons may have 1 socket. Amulet anointments can be done just like in PoE 1, except instead of going through Blight, you'd be working with the with Delirium. So in Delirium, when you're in a Delirium event, you will get items known as Distilled Emotions. They drop, and you can use these just like you would oils in PoE 1 to anoint your amulet and add a passive from your skill tree that you don't have to actually path to. Now, we get to catalysts. Catalysts have been moved from the ultimatum pool over to breach. Catalysts can be used in the same fashion that armor scraps and whetstones can be used on weapons and armor, but in this case for jewelry. And these will increase base modifiers such as life or a specific elemental modifier like cold, fire, etc. And I'm sure there's many more catalysts that can have even better effects or different effects on your items. This is everything we know about crafting items in Path of Exile 2 currently. I can't wait to experience all of this, all these options, and make the best items possible using these methods to come, as it's been hinted that even more crafting mechanics will be added in the future. I just want to say thank you for watching. Please hit that sub, like, share, and I hope to see you next time. This is Elder of Woe saying over and out.